Hello, today I made this survey planner thingy. This lets you specify some area in the world that you want to do an aerial survey of, and then you can have it calculate the lines that your UAV needs to fly up and down in order to cover that area and take photos of it properly. And then you can export that to a file, and in my case I'm going to import that file into the EasyGUI ground station app for Android. I read somewhere this morning that there is actually something else that you can use the same file format in, but I forget what it was. MultiWii maybe? I'm not sure. But anyway, for the time being I'm just using it with EasyGUI ground station. Seems to work okay, but one caveat I should mention is that I haven't actually tried it on an actual flight. I'm only just importing it into EasyGUI, and everything looks good at this stage, so I don't see why it wouldn't work. So let's hope everything is okay. But yeah, initially I was just going to make this for myself, but I put a fair bit of work into making it reasonably user-friendly, so I thought I'd upload it to my website and make it public and let the peasants have a shot at it as well. So this video is going to be an explanation of how everything works. It's not too complicated, but yeah, making a video is easier than writing docs. So anyway, so this is what we're going to do. So you'll see when I reload the page, we start off at just some random location, and there's a square here ready for us to use. And if I move the points of this polygon, you'll see at the top here this text area with the lat-long coordinates, and it will change along with it, and vice versa. So if I change the text area, you'll see it updates the polygon in the map view. So either way, you can change whichever one you like, and that means that you can store or save a certain polygon just by copying that and just pasting it into a text file and saving it for later. You can come back and quickly get back the same polygon that you had set up before, so you're not going to lose it by closing the browser. So if you drag that polygon as a whole, you can move that around as well. And if you drag outside the polygon, of course, you're going to be moving the map itself. And there's a couple of buttons above the text area. Fitting the view to the area will move the map so that if we're away from that area, we'll just go back to it. And fitting the area to the view is the opposite. So if we're away from the area, this time we're going to actually bring the area into the center of the view without moving the map. So those are sort of reciprocal kind of actions. But you may be thinking, why do we need to fit the area to the view when we can just drag it like this? Well, it turns out that if you want to move it a long way, so you want to bring it over to here, it's not very easy to drag and drop that now because it's very small, but it is quite easy to just zoom in somewhere and then click on fit area to view. So that'll bring that over here for us. Let's just go back to where we were. Now over on the left we have a few options that we can set. Entry angle is 0 at the moment, and this specifies the angle, 0 being north, 90 degrees being east, the angle that the UAV will start off at. So in this case the starting point is this this end of this line here, and it's moving north, and then when it gets to the end of that first row, it's going to have to turn either left or right, and that's what the next option specifies. So we're turning right. If I change it to left, you'll see that the lines change a little bit. So now the flight path is going to start here, we're going to go up, and we're going to turn left. So it just sort of lets you rearrange the flight path to maybe start and finish somewhere that's a little bit more convenient for you on the ground waiting for it to finish. And of course you can change that to another angle. Now we're starting up here. If I make that right again, now we should be starting up there. So you can sort of, there's 4 ways you could do it, I guess. Of course, this is not just 0 or 180. You can put, these lines seem to go a bit pale sometimes. But yeah, so you can change the angle of this too, which can be useful, because if you had something like a bit of a longer, taller thing, it might be more convenient to have your flight path going lengthways along it, so that you have less turning around and more just straight along flying and taking photos. Oh, you can grab the points in the middle of a line to add a point, by the way. That's how that works. It does not really support concave shapes, so if you do something like that, it's just going to drive straight through it in some cases. So if you really wanted to have a concave shape like this, you could perhaps set up your angle a little bit more appropriately. So it's going to be 90, that's about 100 degrees maybe. Right, so you could say that by setting that entrance angle, you could get it to cover that better and still keep your concave sections mostly intact. But it's probably not going to be a huge issue, I think. A lot of surveys that I've seen being done are all sort of a concave shape anyway, for the most part. Okay, so next option is row separation. That is in meters. That should be pretty obvious. We can change it to, say, 30 meters, 10 meters, and that just, brings the rows closer together. And then finally, altitude. Changing this does nothing during the setup of the area. It only has an effect when we export the file. So this is just going to be every single waypoint in the file is going to be that same height, 16 meters. And then to export the file, we click on here once we have put a file name in. So let me just let's just do this one, shall we? 20 meters. Yeah, okay. I'll just save this, and I want to switch over to my Android tablet and show you this. So this is, I'll call it near airport mission. I'm not sure if you have to give it a .mission suffix, but all the other files in the EasyGUI folder on my Android tablet have that suffix, so I'm just going to give it a .mission suffix. And now I can click on download mission file, and you'll see, hopefully this is on the screen, but there is a file downloaded there, and we can have a look at that. So these mission files are just an XML format file, and it's giving us all the lat longs there, and you can see that's the altitude of 16 for every single point, and everything looks okay. So I'll go and look at that on my Android tablet. I'll email that to myself, and then we'll have a look at that in the EasyGUI app. But I just wanted to point out a couple more things on about how this survey planner thingy works, and that is that when you reload like this, most people don't want to be looking at New Zealand every time. So I also made it so that you can put in the URL a point to start from. So it works by, well, you can leave the slash there, it doesn't really matter, but I think it looks nicer with the slash away. So you put a question mark, and then you'll say lat equals 12 or whatever, ampersand lon equals, and then whatever you want your longitude to be, so 34. To figure out a lat long that you want to start from, let's say you want to start from Wadamana in Tasmania. There's nothing much there, is there? Where's something a little bit more of a landmark? Any Tasmanian devils in here? Alright, this brown field, we want to do a survey of this field, or we want to, at least every time we start up this survey planner thingy, we want to start here. I'll Oh. Okay, never mind. Let's say we want to start near Pukekohe. We want to start at the race course here. Now you notice I'm just looking in the normal Google Maps here, and when I move it around you'll see in the URL there is a lat long showing. So what we can do is copy this lat long. That's the lat, and instead of 12, forget about Tasmania. Never mind about that. We want to look at New Zealand, and I'll copy the long from here into there, and copy that. Oh, actually, I don't really need to copy it. Yeah, so that will let me start at that place, and then you can bookmark that like this, so that whenever you start up your browser, you can just go straight to it by clicking on your bookmark, like so, because that'll put that lat long in the URL for you. So that's how you can get away from looking at Tokoroa Airport every time you start this thing up. And I think we can look at Android and just check that other flight path that I exported before was actually working properly. So to get that into my Easy GUI on my Android, this is what I've been doing. I send it to myself by email as an attachment and then download it, and it goes into the downloads folder on my tablet, and I'm using this ES File Explorer to find it. I think some Android tablets are a little bit different, but this is how my one works anyway. So there's a download folder here, and there it is there, near airport mission, and I just hold that down and then copy and go back, and then go into the Easy GUI folder, and then there's a missions folder in here, and you can see some of the other missions I already have saved, and then I just paste, so it goes in here, there it is, and then I can open up the Easy GUI app itself, and we should find that. If you look in the mission planner, we can mission planner, yep, we can open and then select from the list. We should see near airport. Open that up. Ooh, lost focus. Alright, so I don't know why it zooms all the way out when you open a mission like that. Okay, it looks a bit funny on here because it's showing up those waypoint markers as like touchable thingies, but should be able to see that it has loaded up the thing that we were just looking at before. So I'm assuming that everything will be good to go when I try this, maybe tomorrow or the next day. I'll actually give it a shot for real and see if it performs as it's supposed to. I don't see why it wouldn't, really. I was a little bit worried that maybe that cleanflight wouldn't support this many waypoints, but I did a quick test to upload this to my hexacopter and then download it again, because you can do download, and there lets you pull the mission that the quadcopter has in its memory back onto the tablet, and that worked fine. So I think it should be okay to handle up to 254 waypoints, maybe, or a lot anyway. More than what we have here. Should be fine. Another thing I wanted to show you just before we finish up is that because this is running in the browser, you can actually run it on your tablet out in the field if you wanted to, perhaps. It's a little bit fiddly because you've got to get your fingers in just the right place, but you can actually set up a mission on your tablet if you have the internet out in the field where you're doing your survey. You could actually change stuff here as well. Put in another maybe 80 degrees. Oops. Did that work? Oh, I put a letter in. Oops. Let's try numbers. 80. There we go. Yeah, so as far as I know, should be able to do everything on here as well. Oh, what happens when we try and save a file here? Test Android. Test Android download. Downloading. Oh yeah, yeah. It downloaded it without the correct. Let's try this. Android, test Android mission, download. Downloading. Alright, so let's see if that just to make sure that worked properly. Hold on. Download. Test Android mission. Copy. Put this into my Easy GUI missions folder. Paste. Go back to Easy GUI and open. Test Android is in there, good. Open. And looks like it worked. There we go. Great. So you can do everything on your tablet out in the field as well. Alright, that's everything I had to say on this for now. If you have any tips or suggestions, I probably won't be doing any major work on it for a while, but I will take into account any ideas that come up. I'm sort of suspecting that this might actually end up in Easy GUI anyway at some point, or something similar to this. So we may not need to use this tool for very long if Easy GUI does this itself. Anyway, that's all for now. Thanks for watching.